Another year, another chance for all 32 NFL fan bases to convince themselves that this is the season that it all changes.
Super Bowl, we going to the Super Bowl 50! Yeah!
Not every team can strut into Santa Clara come February with a shot at the Lombardi. So, let's take a look around the league and see if we can call out who is who and make win-loss predictions for all 32 teams. Arizona Cardinals, 9-8. The Kyler Murray redemption arc is alive. Marvin Harrison Jr. with a touch of development in year 2, mix in a defense that's young and aggressive, and bam, suddenly the Cards don't look like a pushover anymore. Atlanta Falcons, 8-9. With Bijan Robinson and Drake London, this offense has juice, but Michael Penix Jr. is still quite raw and will have a lot of figuring out to do. This feels more like a year of learning than actual winning. Baltimore Ravens, 12-5. Lamar Jackson is smack in the middle of his prime, and the Ravens project to be a juggernaut again. 12 wins and another AFC North crown? Yeah, you better book it. Buffalo Bills, 13-4. Contrary to what some folks in the media will try to have you believe, the Bills' Super Bowl window is not closed. It just looks a little different now. Josh Allen is still Josh Allen, but Sean McDermott's defense is getting nastier, and they are filling in the right pieces on both sides of the ball. Carolina Panthers, 6-11. Come on, let's not sugarcoat it. Carolina is still stuck in the mud, and this roster just isn't built to compete in a loaded NFC. 6 wins would actually be progress, and I don't know, that's probably the best case scenario for now. Chicago Bears, 10-7. With Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams leading the charge, it definitely feels like Chicago is building something special, but the reality is that they're not the division favorites, at least not yet. Cincinnati Bengals, 11-6. Hey, watch out. The offensive line finally looks like it can protect Burrow. Add in a defense that's younger, faster, and deeper in the secondary, and suddenly Cincinnati isn't just hoping to keep up in shootouts. They're looking like they can actually close out games. Cleveland Browns, 3-14. Sorry, Browns fans, but this season has pain written all over it. Deshaun Watson was not the answer. And, well, I don't think that Joe Flacco or Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders is either. Dallas Cowboys, 11-6. Don't be shocked if Dallas turns some heads this year despite shipping their franchise player and Micah Parsons out of town. At least, during the regular season. Expectations are low for once, which is exactly where Dallas thrives. Denver Broncos, 11-6. The AFC West is going to be tough sledding with the Chiefs and Chargers lurking, but look for Denver to climb to 11 wins in year 2 with Bo Nix. The young quarterback was really coming into his own in Peyton's system last year. And on the other side of the ball, that defense is downright terrifying. Patrick Surtain II logs half the field, the pass rush eats, and Mile High makes life miserable for visitors. Detroit Lions, 11-6. There will be a slight regression record-wise in the Motor City, but the good times should keep rolling, even in a super competitive NFC North. Dan Campbell has a legit culture. Aiden Hutchinson anchors the defense, and the offense is still humming with Goff, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Jameson Williams. Green Bay Packers, 11-6. Micah Parsons in green and gold. That is a franchise-altering move, all right. Jordan Love took big steps in 2024. The young receivers are growing, and now the defense has its new superstar. This should be one of the best Packers teams that we have seen in years. Houston Texans, 10-7. Houston has the built-in advantage of playing in the AFC South, which may be the least competitive division in football this year, which will certainly mask a lot of the major health concerns that they have going into the year. As long as CJ Stroud can break out of his sophomore slump, then things should keep moving forward nicely in Houston. Indianapolis Colts, 9-8. Daniel Jones in Indy. Yeah, that is a sentence that we're all still getting used to. Shane Steichen can scheme him into competency, and Jonathan Taylor plus that O-line keeps them afloat. But the ceiling here really isn't much higher than 9 wins. Jacksonville Jaguars, 11-6. The Jags were one of 2024's biggest flops, but they've hit the reset button with Liam Cohen at head coach and added Travis Hunter with the number 2 pick. That alone should give Trevor Lawrence a spark. Kansas City Chiefs, 11-6. Patrick Mahomes is still the best player in all football, but last year's Super Bowl humiliation showed that this team has cracks. The defense is definitely still stingy, but the offense isn't as loaded as it used to be. Las Vegas Raiders, 7-10. The Raiders are stuck in the middle. Pete Carroll and Geno Smith should help raise the floor, but this roster doesn't really scare anybody, and the depth just isn't there. 7 wins feels like the ceiling until they get a chance to fully hit the reset button and find a new direction. Los Angeles Chargers, 11-6. The Jim Harbaugh effect is very real. The Chargers finally have an identity. Tough, physical, and trench-focused. Finally, some hope in LA. Los Angeles Rams, 10-7. John McVay isn't one for losing seasons. Matthew Stafford has weapons. Kyron Williams can carry the rock, and Puka Nacua is a bona fide star catching passes alongside Devontae Adams. If Stafford can stay on the field, then 10 wins is the floor for this Rams team. Miami Dolphins, 7-10. Yeah, sorry Dolphins fans, if any of you still exist, but things are shaping up to be ugly for y'all in 2025. Mike McDaniel and Tyreek Hill just can't get on the same page, and well, your quarterback can't seem to stay on the field. If Miami can get its act together, then we could see curtains close on the Mike McDaniel era. Heck, maybe that'll even happen before the season's end. Minnesota Vikings, 9-8. Kevin O'Connell will protect his young quarterback with motion, play action, and plenty of easy throws to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. That should keep the offense from completely bottoming out. This season is about development, and seeing if McCarthy can flash enough to prove that he's the long-term guy. New England Patriots, 8-9. Mike Vrabel is back in Foxborough, and that alone gives this team a defined identity. The offense is still a work in progress, but Drake May in year 2 should be steadier, less panic under pressure, more rhythm throws, and fewer back-breaking mistakes. New Orleans Saints, 2-15. Yeah, this is what rock bottom looks like. The Saints simply do not have a quarterback. Derek Carr's time in New Orleans is finished, and there's no heir apparent waiting in the wings to save him. So, without a stabilizing force under center, this entire offense is lost. Defensively, this group has aged out of its prime. The pass rush doesn't hit home like it used to, and the secondary doesn't have the juice to cover for it. 2 wins feels harsh, but man, if you don't have a quarterback in today's NFL, you don't got a chance. And right now, the Saints don't have either. New York Giants, 7-10. The Giants upgraded their weapons a bit, and Brian Dable is still one of the better play callers in the league. But the offensive line just remains a problem, and when your quarterback doesn't process quickly, well, that's a recipe for stalled drives and turnovers. Which is particularly frustrating because their defensive front is Super Bowl ready and going to be elite enough to keep them in more games than they realistically should be. New York Jets, 11-6. Aaron Glenn has brought new juice to that sideline, and this defense is still absolutely loaded. It will all come down to just how much they can get out of Justin Fields. And oh boy, he has all the weapons that he could ever want to make it happen. Philadelphia Eagles, 13-4. Oh yeah, look for another big year for the defending champs. Defensively, they can smother teams in the trenches and play downhill when they have a lead. Depth is always a question after a long playoff run, but this roster is just far too loaded to take much of a step back, especially with a proven leader like Jalen Hurts steadying the ship. Pittsburgh Steelers, 8-9. Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh just doesn't quite feel right, but hey, here we are. At 41, he's not the MVP version anymore, and behind a shaky line with an average group of receivers, he's gonna have to grind for every yard. San Francisco 49ers, 11-6. Kyle Shanahan's offense is absolutely loaded. Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, the weapons are unmatched. The scheme still manufactures mismatches better than any coach in football. So yeah, look for a big bounce back year in San Francisco. Seattle Seahawks, 9-8. 9 wins keeps them hanging around the playoff hunt, but unless a Sam Darnold experiment can emerge as a legit starting quarterback, that's probably going to be their ceiling. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 12-5. Continuity matters, and oh boy, Tampa Bay has it. Baker Mayfield is comfortable. Mike Evans is still making defenders look silly. Chris Godwin is still a reliable chain mover. And now we get to add Emeka Egbuka to the mix. The defense may not be dominant, but it's good enough, especially in such a weak NFC South. Tennessee Titans, 3-14. New era, new quarterback. Some real patience is going to be required here. Cam Ward brings live arm traits and off-platform creativity, but the leap from college structure to NFL disguise is steep. So expect another disappointing season in the Music City. Washington Commanders, 10-7. There is some real reason to get excited if you're a Commanders fan. The skill group has added some nice complementary pieces with Deebo Samuel, and Terry McLaurin is sticking around after all. On the other side of the ball, they seem to have recalibrated a good bit too. The schedule's going to be hard, but it's navigatable, and the NFC wildcard line isn't that high. So 10 wins is on the table if Daniels stacks clean games again. But hey, what is your win-loss prediction for your favorite team? Who do you think we're right on here? Who do you think we're wrong about? Is there anything notable that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.